Hello everyone, welcome to Math 061 Math videos. Today we're going to talk about simplification of fractions. Now before we talk about simplification of fractions, we have to understand what are we using in simplifications, or the other way around, finding the lowest common denominator, which the rule we're actually using is called the fundamental property of fractions, which if you have seen it somewhere, it looks like this, which is a over b equals to a and b are both just a number. We're just using a number to a variable to represent that number. If we times a number, let's say that number is c. Well, keep in mind c is not 0. B is of course not 0 because b is in the denominator. If we times a number on the numerator and the denominator, the fraction itself stays the same value, even though it looks different. Now b and c cannot be 0. So for example, if we have 2 over 3, we can times any number we want as long as it's not 0. We times it, let's say times it by 4 on the numerator, and we times it the same number on the denominator. Now this fraction becomes 8 over 12. Even though it looks different, but those two fractions are still the same, have the same exactly value. Now for these multiplications, we can also utilizing on divisions. So for example, if we have a over b, same thing, if we divide by a number c, they will be still be the same. Now same here, b and c cannot be 0. We cannot divide by a 0 number. So that is actually something we're using in simplification a lot. It's normally we just factor in, finding out what that factor that shares with the top and then bottom, and then we can take them out. So for example, in questions such as, let's try to simplify 15 over 30. I mean, 15 and 30, what kind of factor do they have to share? I mean, sometimes it's hard, not easy to find it out, but we can just try to write it out and see what is what. So if we have 15, we're going to try to factor out, let's say 15, there is 3, and take out a 3, and times 5, that's 15. Now, since I have 3 and 5, let's take a look if 30 can break out anything that have 3 or 5. So if I can take out 30, I can have 3 and 10, right? Now that, as you can see, they both can take out the 3, so I can divide out the 3 on the numerator and the 3 on the denominator, which leave us as 5 over 10. Now in this case, it's still not a simplified form because I realize 5 can be breaking down into 1 and 5. 10 can be breaking down into 2 and 5. So which means we can do the same thing over again, but this time we will divide the top and bottom by 5. So in this case, we'll have 1 over 2, which that will be our most simplified form. Okay. During the factoring, and also when you're doing those simplifications, there's a few tricks to identify if a number has certain factors. And then for that, we'll talk about it in the next video.